What's the best wash method to use in your detailing business? So in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about when we use one style of wash method and when we use another style of wash method. So this isn't really like a how to do wash method, but more so of like when is the right time to use a specific method based on the condition or vehicle or customer that you're working with. And if you are just struggling to get customers in general, click the link down below and watch my free training on how I turned my website into a customer generating machine that works 24/7. This is what helped me go from a struggling detailer to a fully booked out detailer and helped us pass $10,000 per month. So just click the link down below and watch that free training. Let's get started with this video. So when it comes to washing cars, you have four methods, right? You have rinsing the vehicle, foaming the vehicle, doing a 2-bucket wash method, and doing a rinseless wash. Now, the key part with this is that none of these have to be by themselves, right? Because you can foam it down, rinse, and then do a rinseless wash. You could foam it down, rinse it, do a 2-bucket wash. You could rinse it down, do a 2-bucket wash. You could rinse it, do a rinseless, right? So you can combine these steps in any which way based on the condition of the vehicle. Now this is specifically for if you're really doing this it can apply for anyone, but if you're doing this as a business, this is where it really matters, because you can't go and do a rinse it and foam it and 2-bucket wash method on a vehicle that isn't meant for that level of wash, okay? So let's say we have one car. I'm pointing at the door panel, right? Let's say we have one car where we've corrected, we've polished, it's coated, right? And it's swirl free. This vehicle is pretty dirty. You can't really see it because of the color, but this vehicle, I haven't washed it in like 4 months. So when we have this kind of vehicle where it is dirty, it is polished, it is coated, we are gonna take the extra steps in terms of maybe, depending on the condition, but we're gonna rinse it down, foam it. We're not gonna do the 2-bucket wash method because we just don't care about that, but we will use one wash bucket. We'll put wash towels or wash mitts, and we'll use that one wash mitt or wash towel until it gets dirty. We'll discard that towel and then pick up a new one, right? So with that one, we are going the full steps in terms of ensuring we are minimizing, we are reducing the amount of swirls that we're putting in the paintwork, because it is, it requires that level of work because the condition of the paint is actually top notch. So then let's say we're working on a vehicle where, and this just happened actually, where this young man, I say young man because I think he was like 22 maybe, he purchased a vehicle for his brother or something, or for his dad, and he bought the vehicle for like a couple $1,000s. It was in bad condition. The interior was bad, the engine was bad, the paint was bad, and he just wanted to raise it from like a 2 to like a 6. And the paint work was heavily swirled, a lot of oxidation. There was some paint chips all across the vehicle. There was some dullness across the vehicle. So with that vehicle, we can do the most basic wash of rinsing it down, still using a wash bucket, but maybe just using 2 wash mitts to clean the whole vehicle, rinse it and done. Right? So when we're dealing with a vehicle where it's not in good condition, it's already heavily swirled, the customer doesn't care about the paint, the goal isn't to shine it up or to remove swirls, we're gonna approach it with a different wash method, because there is no reason to baby and be super gentle with the wash when that's not the main objective of that wash for that vehicle. Okay. Now that being said, when we're maintaining vehicles that require that extra gentle touch, that we're actually trying to be swirl free about it, we do charge more, right? So in the example of a bad condition vehicle, let's say we typically charge $50 for a wash. But there might be some where like, all right, there's, this customer doesn't really care about anything on the exterior. They just want to wash because they haven't washed it in months. It's in bad condition. The wheels are pitted, like anything better than what it is right now, the customer is going to be happy with. So it's not us cutting corners, but it's also being realistic about what the customer wants and not just doing what we want, right? So with that one, if we're going to charge 50 and we're like, bro, like they don't care about, like, we can save them a few dollars by just doing the most basic wash. They're gonna be happy with it, and like it saves us time, right? So instead of charging 50, we might charge $35, right? And we're still gonna wash the vehicle, clean the wheels, tires, dress the tires, clean the glass, clean the door jambs, but we're just tailoring that specific service to that specific vehicle based on what the customer wants. And I just think that's the right way to do it, right? if we have a vehicle that, again, we have that Raptor that I've shown here on this channel a few times, where we didn't do the correction or coating, but the customer came to us to maintain that vehicle. With that one, we're always doing extra steps to ensure we can increase how good it looks for, you know, we're not gonna do and that truck comes back to us dirty sometimes. So with that one, we are gonna do a rinseless. We might foam it up, and we'll do the necessary steps. This isn't like, oh, you're taking shortcuts, or you're shortchanging your customers. No, it's literally, you do what's needed based on the condition of the vehicle, and a lot of times you will adjust the pricing to fit that style of wash. Now, the next consideration in terms of the type of wash method that you do is what services is the customer getting, you know? So again, if we have a vehicle coming in for a correction and coating, or let's just say a correction and polish, right? Or let's just say a polish, like a very basic polish, basic paint enhancement, right? Regardless of how dirty the vehicle is or what wash method we choose, once we get to the polishing, any level of swirls or micro swirls or whatever we put in there will be remedied on the polishing step, okay? So if the vehicle is very dirty, our main goal is to get through the prep process so we can get to what matters most, the polishing. That's not to say the prep process isn't important, because obviously it is. If you don't prep it right, you spend more time on the polishing. But nonetheless, we aren't gonna baby the vehicle when it's about to get polished, because we're gonna remove, let's say at a minimum, 30% of the swirls, right? I'm going with the most basic of basic paint enhancement, right? We're still gonna remove enough swirls to where if we added any little bit of swirls, they're gonna come out just like that. Because if we are doing the lightest of lightest paint enhancement, we're not going after the heavy swirls. We're not doing some heavy defect removal. We're not getting the rotary out or spending 4 hours on the cutting and getting to every small little area on the panel. That's not the goal of this, right? So anytime we have to polish the vehicle, we are gonna do it in the most efficient manner, which isn't necessarily what most social media detailers will approve of, because we're not like, we wanna spend most of our time polishing the paint and actually shining it up, right? Because if there's 4 hours, let's say there's 4 hours allocated to the detail, right? And because you want to prep, because you want to be all fancy, it takes you 2.5 hours to prep, and you have an hour and a half to polish, right? So now you can only do so much with the polishing step because you only have an hour and a half. But now let's say there's a fly here. Let's say it takes you these are just made up examples. What if it takes you 45 minutes to prep, and now you have 3 hours and 15 minutes to focus on the polishing step? So now if you want to go and maybe focus on the hood and do a bit more work on the hood, or maybe get a bit more correction or enhancement out of it, you've allowed yourself that time, there's a fly here, you've allowed yourself that time to do more and to produce a better result by not spending so much time on the prep work. And you can apply this to literally anything. Vacuuming, cleaning wheels, cleaning the engine, like, you need to save time in some places so you have more time in other parts of the detail where it probably matters most. And look, washing your car is pretty straightforward. If you're doing this as a personal hobby, you can do whatever you want, take however long, use whatever products you want, because it's your vehicle, you're in your driveway, have fun with it. But if you're doing this as a business, you do have to take a lot more things into consideration, because you can't just do the same thing unless you're charging the right amount, and unless you're getting those types of customers. You can't do the same thing on every vehicle, because not every vehicle is gonna get the same services or pay the same prices or have the same time that you could spend on that vehicle. It's just the way business goes. Man, this fly does not get out of here. So anyways, let me know in the comment section down below, what's your go-to wash method in your business? I'm interested to hear what you say. For us, a lot of the time it's rinseless, and for vehicles that we really wanted to take it a step further, we're going to rinse it, foam it, keep the wash bucket clean with multiple wash medias in there, and rinse it and dry it. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys on the next one.